Hello ASGSR students, and happy 20th anniversary.
Hi there, my name is Esther Putman and I am a graduate student at the University of Colorado Boulder.
My name is Joya Massa and I'm a life sciences project scientist at Kennedy Space Center.
Hi, my name is Malika Sarma and I'm a postdoctoral research fellow in the Human Spaceflight Lab at the Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine.
My name is Liz Warren, and I am a senior program director at CASIS, the manager of the ISS National Laboratory.
Hi, my name is Samantha McBride and I'm a postdoc at Princeton University.
I was involved with ASGSR as a student between 1998 and 2003.
I was involved in ASGSR from 2017 to 2019.
I was involved in the ASGSR student organization for about 5 years from 2013 to 2018, and I was lucky enough to be president of the organization for 2 years.
I was a member of the ASGSR board from 2016 to 2019.
I first started attending ASGSB back in 1996 as a student, before the student group existed. And I've been involved in microgravity research ever since.
I first got involved with space research via my master's research project, which was a NASA-funded project called the Marine Shear Drop Experiment, which actually just launched to the International Space Station last year.
I've been involved in gravitational and space research for that long and a little bit longer. I was fortunate enough to be an intern at Kennedy Space Center in 1995.
And that start began in Chuck Fuller's lab at UC Davis. In that lab and through Chuck's tutelage, I became fascinated in the way that altered gravity environments affect living systems. And I'm still fascinated by that today.
I first got involved in space research when I took an internship with Space Tango, which is a company that designs research and manufacturing hardware for experiments that launch to the International Space Station. Through Space Tango, I got to send a lot of incredible science to space, and I developed a passion for how access to space impacts life on Earth. I had an internship studying astronaut bone density loss through NASA's Space Life Sciences training program, which is how I learned about and eventually became a part of ASGSR.
Thinking about how ASGSR helped me as a student, I feel like I would not have had the confidence or even the know-how to pursue spaceflight-related research if I had not been a member of ASGSR and had such a warm, wonderful welcome from the spaceflight community.
I feel that ASGSR did a huge part in helping me to get where I am today in my career. I was able to learn about the breadth of research in gravitational and space biology at the time, and really meet a lot of the amazing people doing that research and build those connections.
So aside from the research and the experiments, the best part of being involved in ASGSR for me was all of the different types of people I got to meet. I got to meet other students from across the country and from across the globe, as well as professionals in industry, at NASA, and across academia.
Being part of the ASGSR network has been incredible. I've had the opportunity to learn from amazing scientists, researchers, and engineers in the field of space and gravitational research. As part of the student board, I've learned about opportunities for jobs, for fellowships, and gained tons of incredible skills, not only in research, but also in things like space policy and STEM education.
My advice to you is to find that thing, keep that interest, what really makes you tick, and to stay curious and to take advantage of all of the researchers in the society today. We're all very supportive of you, the young researchers. You guys are the future.
I think my biggest piece of advice for students and early career professionals is to put yourself out there. Whether that means introducing yourself to someone that you look up to in the industry, or applying for jobs and opportunities that excite you and even scare you a little bit, be bold and take risks.
The best advice I have for students and young professionals is to not be afraid to reach out to people. So if you know of a project that you're interested in, or maybe a collaboration, an opportunity, an internship, and you can identify someone who might be able to help you get there, please just send them an email.
To take advantage of opportunities to present and to learn to put your research into a clear, concise form that people who maybe aren't as familiar with your work will understand, not just experts in your field. Because I think as all of us as scientists, communicating our passion and why we do what we do is probably one of the most important things that we can do.
For the advice I would give students and early career professionals, definitely talk to people as much as you possibly can. Even the most senior folks are usually open to have a chat with enthusiastic early professionals. And since good science always happens in teams, your network is really key to being a really good scientist.
I think the biggest mystery that I see in space research is understanding the long-term effects of how humans adapt to spaceflight. We still have a lot to learn about long-duration crewed missions that occur beyond low Earth orbit.
The biggest mystery that I see today in space and gravitational research, I think that it's what the unknown things are and how they might potentially combine when in space for a long-duration mission to snowball into massive issues.
The biggest mystery in gravitational and space research that I see today is, we've learned a lot on the ISS. It's been a tremendous opportunity. But now as we go on to the moon and on to Mars, how the different systems and processes will function at reduced gravity levels, under 1G, but over microgravity, I think will be really, really interesting. And I can't wait to learn a lot of those things.
I think that the most interesting thing that has been achieved on the ISS is the continued global human collaboration that has happened over decades. I think it's one of the things that makes spaceflight really special, and I hope that we can take the spirit of international global collaboration into the future.
The most interesting thing that has been achieved with the International Space Station isn't a research feat at all. I think that the most powerful thing I've watched happen on ISS is international collaboration. We've done some incredible things in space using ISS as a platform for research, but we haven't done any of it alone. The International Space Station is a fantastic example of what humankind can accomplish when we work together.
And the most interesting things I've seen achieved with the ISS, I'm a little biased, so I think testing out crop production has been really, really wonderful and fascinating. But also, the fluid physics and the microbiome research that we're learning from living in this environment is just phenomenal, and how all of these things interconnect and are so important for sustaining humans. I think it's really fascinating, and I just look forward to every discovery.
Being a member of ASGSR and better understanding the research that could be done looking at space and gravitational related questions was nothing short of inspirational.
The world is your oyster, so take advantage of it, and we look forward to seeing what great discoveries you make. Good luck.
So happy anniversary to the ASGSR student group, and I wish you all the best of luck.
Hello, everyone. It's always great to hear from the students. That was a wonderful presentation. If there are any other students out there in the audience, please contact our society student group. You'll find opportunities for growth, networking, and leadership. I'd like to move on now and start off by thanking our sponsors one last time. The ISS National Lab, Sierra Nevada Corporation, Blue Origin, TechShot, NASA Flight Opportunities, and NASA Space Biology. We all ought to also think about all the hard work that went into this, getting this together after thinking we were going to have a live event and then having to pivot to a remote event. Really want to thank Kevin Sato and the entire organizing committee for doing such a great job. And specifically, I want to reach out and thank Metra Connections for their work putting together this in its virtual format. Laurel Kalman, Katie Goodmanson, and Chris Daniel. So thank you. Furthermore, I'd like to recognize the Warren Halstead family for their generous donations in honor of Dr. Thora Halstead. They took advantage of our new ASGSR STEAM Foundation, that's Science, Technology, Engineering, Arts, and Mathematics. Now, this foundation was constituted this year to allow tax-deductible donations to be used in support of our society's outreach activities. So thanks to the Warren Halstead family for their donation. Now is the time when we would all be pushing back from the table. The dinner was in front of us, and we'd have a glass of wine in front of us that, you know, red wine if you had the steak, white wine if you had the chicken or the veggie meal. We'd all be sitting back and relaxing and getting ready for our presentations on the awards for our society. So in your mind, put yourself back in that scenario. It's been a good conference, and now here we are to hear about some of the accomplishments of our fellow members. So up first, I would like to introduce Anjali Gupta.
Thank you, Doug. First, I'm excited to share with you a new opportunity for students. However, before I get to that, I would like to introduce you to Axiom Space. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Space stations have been around for decades. As you all know, this week marked 20 years of continuous human presence in space on the International Space Station. Next slide. Now, in this new decade, we're ushering in a new era of space in LEO. At Axiom Space, we're building the world's first commercial space station. Axiom Space was founded in 2016 by Cam Gafarian and Mike Zupperdini. Mike has been with human spaceflight for over 30 years and has served as the ISS program manager for 10 years prior to founding Axiom. Next slide, please. Our vision is to create a thriving home in space that benefits every human everywhere. Next slide. Next slide, please. Our mission is to improve life on Earth and foster possibilities beyond it by building and operating the world's first commercial space station. Next, please. Our aim is to democratize space, to allow exposure to all nations, companies, and individuals. Next. We would like our space station to be the cornerstone of an eventual commercial infrastructure layer in LEO. Axiom Station will enable people to live and work in space while also supporting exploration beyond LEO. Next. Here, you can see, I'd like to share with you a brief video that'll give you a perspective on the Axiom Station assembly and what that looks like. As you can see here, Axiom Module 1 arrives first and attaches to Node 2 of the forward port of the ISS. The Canada arm then repositions the Earth Observatory to the nadir. The Habitat module is seen arriving, and on the back of that, you can see the Axiom robotic arm once it's grabbed. The research and manufacturing facility will fly next. Each of these modules is basically an independent spacecraft. Each module has its own propulsion and navigation system. The modules will be launched on a launch carrier and then deployed into low Earth orbit, eventually finding their way to the ISS. I'll give you a brief second to watch this assembly. The power and thermal module will fly last, as you can see here, taking up 100 kilowatts of power. This module flies in a folded configuration. Once it's attached, the solar arrays will deploy. revealing the airlock, and that will support EVA work. This video also shows Axiom borrowing the PMM, which is the permanent multipurpose module. Eventually, that'll be attached to the Axiom station. And then eventually Axiom station will separate from the ISS and become a free flyer. As you can see here. So this gives you a brief overview of what to expect in the coming years. Next slide, please. Next, I want to share a few photos of the interior of the Axiom station. This is an artist's rendition of the habitat module, Aisleway. You can see a peek into the crew quarters on the lower right of your screen. Next. And this is a photo of the Axiom crew quarters. This human habitat has been designed by the French architect, Philippe Starck, and it's pretty cool to stand in at the Axiom headquarters. Next slide, please. In terms of a timeline, Axiom will launch its first commercial crew mission to the ISS as early as next year. The first Axiom module is set to attach to the ISS in 2024 and planned for completion by 2028. So roughly about one module per year. The station design is modular, so that as the market grows, we will be able to expand the space station and grow with the market. One point of interest that I would like to highlight for this particular audience is Axiom's research and manufacturing facility. In our design phase for the new space station, we are rethinking the orbital lab. Right now, there is a unique opportunity to take our learnings from these last 20 years of research in spaceflight and design an orbital lab that will enable transformative discoveries. If you have ideas that you would like to share or capabilities that you'd like to see in orbit, please do contact me. Next slide, please. We know that space itself is a unique environment, but with continuously free-falling space station, another unique environment is created, that of weightlessness and what we call microgravity. Next, please. Once gravity is removed from the equation, spaceflight studies have shown that interesting physical and biological phenomena are unveiled. Next, please. So the question we ask is, what can we do with this knowledge? How can we leverage these insights to improve life back on Earth and enable sustainable presence in LEO and beyond? Next, please. As a privately owned and operated space station, part of our mission is to grow the LEO economy, as well as enable sustainable development of commercial infrastructure. So this creates a unique opportunity for innovation and entrepreneurship. Next. So to that end, we at Axiom Space, in partnership with ASGSR, officially announced the opening of Axiom Innovation Competition to award Aspire, the Axiom Space Prize for inspiring researchers into entrepreneurs. Next. We invite all faculty, principal investigators, educators, mentors, and advisors to reach out to their students who may be undergraduates or graduates and encourage them to think about their research from this unique perspective and ask how they can take their research insights and apply them towards solutions. Next, please. Through this competition, we hope to encourage students in the physical and biological sciences to think about their research from an applications perspective. What new products, technologies, processes, or services can they develop for commercialization? The only twist, the secret sauce must require the use of microgravity and LEO as a space, as an ingredient, as a key ingredient. Apologies. Next slide, please. So I invite you to send an email to aspire@axiomspace.com to express your interest and to join the mailing list for more further announcements. I also invite you to tell your colleagues and especially students about this innovation competition. It takes a tremendous diversity of thought, skill, interest, imagination to build a new economy, and even more so 250 miles above Earth in LEO. While we may all share a passion for science, we may have different ways of expressing that passion. We believe that this innovation competition provides a different type of opportunity for scientists who aim to be entrepreneurs. Thank you. Sorry, I just want to close with one last slide. This is a quote that I borrowed from Dr. Carl Sagan's Cosmos, and it reads, "Exploration is in our nature. We began as wanderers, and we are wanderers still. We have lingered long enough on the shores of the cosmic ocean. We are ready at last to set sail for the stars." And this quote has been a tremendous source of inspiration for me. I hope you find that inspiration here as well. Thank you, and I look forward to receiving applications for this competition.
Thank you, Anjali. That was really great to hear about this new opportunity that Axiom is putting forward to our students. Thank you for your time. Next, I'd like to invite Joya Massa to join us.
Thanks, Doug. So today I have the pleasure of announcing the student awards, or at least some of the student awards. And so first of all, I'm going to start with the graduate and undergraduate student lightning talk competition this year. We went to a lightning talk format with a virtual meeting. As most of you probably know, traditionally we do posters for our meeting, but I think everyone transitioned really seamlessly to lightning talk. So I want to thank all the students for doing a fantastic job on the talks and getting them in with a really short timeline. I want to thank their advisors for supporting the students. And I want to thank all the judges for their hard work in judging these talks. We had each talk judged 4 times. We ended up with 35 graduate student talks and 15 undergraduate talks. So we had a nice number. We actually had twice that many abstracts submitted, and we had to down select. So you know, that was something that we didn't really want to do, but we really didn't have a choice because we could only have so many talks available on the website. So we really appreciate all the people that submitted abstracts, and if you weren't selected for a talk this year, hopefully you'll get a chance to present your research next year. I'd like to thank Jamie Foster as well. She designed the data collection sheet that the judges were using, and she helped to collate all the data, and I really appreciate that. We were able to get feedback from all the judges for the students, and so that will be emailed out to you students, and I want to thank Joby Cook, who's going to do all of that emailing. So I really appreciate all the input that the judges gave to help students become better scientists. So we'll start with the graduate competition, and we're going to start with 3rd place. So in 3rd place from Auburn University, for his presentation, Investigating Vapor Mobility from a Sawtooth Microstructured Surface for Suppressed Buoyancy Conditions, the winner is Karthik Sridhar. In 2nd place, from the University of Colorado, for her presentation, Modeling Crew Performance Degradation Due to Radiation Exposure in Space, the winner is MC Dorbecker. And in 1st place for our graduate students, for her presentation, Microbial Survival to Mars-like Conditions, the Mars Box Stratospheric Balloon Mission, from both the German Space Agency and the Georg August University of Göttingen, the winner is Marta Kortzau. So congratulations, Marta, MC, and Karthik. A wonderful job. For the undergraduates, we did not have a 3rd place because we actually had a tie for 2nd place between 2 outstanding undergraduate presentations. So the 2nd place winner from the University of Florida and the Kennedy Space Center Sprouts internship program, for her presentation on Martian regolith as a substrate for foreign planetary horticulture, germination and early seedling development of 6 cultivars in Mars Global Simulant 1, is Rachel Tucker. The second place winner from UCLA and the Space Life Sciences Training Program at Ames Research Center for his presentation, Engineering Thermostable Carbonic Anhydrases for Spacecraft CO2 Removal Using Machine Learning. The winner is Simon Ng. And the first place winner in undergraduate for her presentation, use of the TOAST bioinformatics database to identify genes in Arabidopsis thaliana that may be important in the gravitropic response during spaceflight from Carthage College is Melanie Guswa. So congratulations, Rachel, Simon, and Melanie. Wonderful job. Next, I'd like to announce the Tom Scott Award. So the Tom K. Scott Student Scholarship is an award made by ASGSR in honor of Tom K. Scott and is made annually to a student attending the ASGSR meeting with excellent academic and or professional achievements and outstanding potential for success in and interest in the field of gravitational and space research. Many of us were fortunate enough to know Dr. Scott, and he was a huge advocate for education, and he really influenced a lot of us. This award both recognizes students for their past accomplishments as well as encourages further excellence in the field. And so the winner of the Tom Scott Student Scholarship this year is Marta Cortzau from the DLR and the Georg August University of Göttingen. So now I'm changing gears a little bit. This past year, two of our members, Laurence Davin and Norman Lewis, contributed to form an inspirational scholarship for high school students in the space life sciences. And we are really, really grateful for their contributions. This scholarship helps to inspire and motivate deserving students who, through financial or cultural circumstances, may never have considered that they can become the space life scientists of the future. So we really want to thank Laurence and Norman for their very generous contribution for this scholarship, and this is an annual recurring scholarship. And I'd like to thank the NASA postdoctoral fellow, Dr. Christina Johnson, who headed up the committee to help develop the program for this award and to collect applications and review them. Additionally, I'd like to thank Joseph Taylor, a graduate student at Virginia Tech and former KSC intern, who helped put the graphics together for the beautiful flyer that we ended up using as promotion for this award, and we're going to continue using that in the future. So 2 students were selected, and if you want to put the names up on the slide, the first is Joseph Ogunbadewa from Lake Highlands High School in Dallas, Texas. And the second is Christina Vo from Oak Grove High School in San Jose, California. So congratulations to both of you. I hope that you will become members of our ASGSR community and be able to be here in the meeting in the future with all of us. And again, thank you so much, Laurence and Norman, for this wonderful scholarship. If all of the members can please, get the word out for this award and encourage communication of this to any teachers that you may know, or send it out in your networks of teachers. This will be a great way to really encourage young people in the field. And also, I want everyone to remember that, ASGSR now has a STEAM Foundation, which allows us to take these kinds of donations and enables the offering of these types of awards. So, if this is something that you have the financial circumstances to consider, please think about donating to the STEAM Foundation to help enable other awards and really create the pipeline of our researchers that we need to succeed us all in the future, because we all know that there are a lot of questions remaining in gravitational and space research, and we need a lot of great people to help us answer them. So the last awards that I get to give out today are from the ISS National Lab through the Center for the Advancement of Science in Space, or CASIS. And as you've heard, they've been the one of our sponsors of our meeting. They've regularly posted and announced ASGSR updates. But their vision is to be the center of excellence, advancing U.S. leadership in commercial space, fostering science and innovation in microgravity, and inspiring the next generation. And so one of the things that they regularly do is they provide awards for winners in the life and physical sciences. So this year, the CASES Award in Physical Sciences is to a student whose presentation is on the COSI solidification under variable stirring conditions, insights from synchrotron XRD. Evan Baker, Tufts University PhD student. So congratulations, Evan. This is awesome. And the undergraduate award is in the life sciences. So this is a CASES Award in the life sciences for E. coli biofilm formation and growth on porous and non-porous aluminum surfaces on the ISS. And this was a team award for a team of young women from the University of Maryland. And the students involved who did a wonderful presentation on this project were Apurva Raghu, Swartapalli Kepitapola, Debbie Adam, Nikki Guya, and Michelle Fang. So congratulations, ladies, and congratulations, Evan, for these very prestigious awards. Yeah, we hope that all of you can participate next year. We hope to have a wonderful turnout for the 2021 meeting with students. So thank you very much. And now back to you, Doug.
I thank you very much, Joy. I'd especially like to thank all of the judges for all the time that they put in making this competition something where students are inspired and being able to allow everybody to take a look at these, all the participants who put in information to let your fellow students look at. Couldn't do it without the people behind the scenes, the judges. Thank you. Next, I'd like to introduce Erica Wagner.
Thank you so much, Doug. Really excited and delighted to be here today and to have the opportunity to present once again the Ken Souza Award. So many of you knew Ken when he was a leader of the society and a leader in our field. I had the good fortune when I was a member of the Student Association to call him a mentor of mine. Ken really was a leader in space life sciences, serving at NASA for nearly 30 years as he shepherded in the Bion programs and hundreds of experiments that flew on the space shuttle. I think what we wanted to do in establishing this award after his passing in 2016 was really to honor Ken's spirit and legacy in helping to recognize the next generation of researchers coming into the field. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Thanks, Chris. So the Ken Souza Memorial Spaceflight Research Award is open to all student members in the society. Really allows us to recognize the most creative ideas that are coming across in a wide range of research, life sciences and physical sciences, high school through graduate students. The winning proposal each year is awarded a $1,000 grant to pursue their research and a free flight of their payload on Blue Origin's New Shepard suborbital rocket. So if I could get the next slide there, Chris. We've been making these awards, and I apologize, we seem to be having some fun problems here, but making these awards now, this will be our fifth award that we've been able to make in this series, thanks to the generosity of ASGSR and the members and sponsors here. One of the things I've loved seeing each year as we read through all of the proposals is just the diversity of ideas and teams that are coming across. Beginning back in our very first award, we had students from high school, college, working together with advisors at NASA Glenn and to look at combustion science. As we moved on, we started to see more physical sciences come into play as we looked at magneto-hydrodynamic pumping and a great team from the University of UCLA there. As we started to move more into the life sciences, I'm going to talk a little bit about the dinonauts at the University of North Dakota, but a really creative work looking at dinoflagellates and their expression in the microgravity environment. And then last year, you see our picture of our winner. This is Morgan Irons at Cornell University, working on the properties of soils in space, and really thinking about them as a holistic experiment that includes both biology and physical sciences. So if you'll give me the next slide there, Chris. This was a great quote that I just loved from the Dinonauts team. The Dinonauts team brought together a group of students from across their university there in North Dakota to really think about how you take advantage of microgravity in a way that allows you to sort of explore the ways in which organisms react to the environment. And what I loved about the way that they approached this problem was it really was interdisciplinary. It brought out the best of our society, bringing together engineers and scientists. A lot of these students never met each other in person. They were working fully remotely, which is something that we've all come to appreciate so much this year. And I think that when we think about our own experiences as scientists flying experiments, this really is what ASGSR is all about, and what our student association gets an opportunity to see through these competitions, is that it is about the spirit of melding together ideas, of working collaboratively, of having to pay attention to details as you get ready for flight. And so just really wanted to honor the thoughts that Laura had here about their collaborations there at the University of North Dakota last year. So with that, I will turn to making our 2020 award. And Chris, if I can get our final slide. It is my honor and privilege to present this year's Ken Souza Memorial Spaceflight Award to the University of Colorado. Chris, if I could get that last slide. And to Alvaro Romero Calvo, who is going to be pursuing his work on diamagnetic electrolysis and phase separation in microgravity. Alvaro, so excited. Congratulations on your achievements to date. Really look forward to seeing where you take this flight on New Shepard. And thank you so much all for being part of the Ken Souza competition for these last 5 years. We look forward to the next 5 and to having your students participating with us. So keep an eye out for those emails as they come along. Last slide there, Chris. With that, I'll turn it back to you, Doug. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Erica. And definitely thanks to Blue Origin for sponsoring this exciting opportunity for both graduate and undergraduate students. And the discussion on having this cross-disciplinary team across doing things remotely, that's fantastic that people can work together as students to get this collaborative approach to doing research in space. Next, I'd like to introduce Tara Rutley and Jamie Foster.
Hi, everybody. It's great to be here virtually with you all, and I'm excited to announce this year's winners of the art competition. First, before I do that, I'd like to thank Emily Eicher for all of her help. She turned this art competition into something virtual, creating the website to upload all of the beautiful art and creating the forms for which you all got to go and vote. So thank you, Emily, for that. It was a great turnaround. So this year we have 2 new categories, and there's an exciting new category that I'm gonna defer to Jamie Foster. She'll get to introduce that shortly and tell you all about it and the winners. But the category that we're all used to, the traditional category, was selected as Audience Choice, as voted by you, the ASGSR conference attendees. And it consisted of the 2 usual subcategories, Artistic Merit and Technical Merit. Now this year, each of those 2 winners will receive a $250 award for the top winners. And then we have 2 honorable mentions as well. Now you can go to see the art. As a reminder, you can see the art online at the ASGSR art page, and go see the winning entries again and refresh your memory at asgsr.org/2020-art. So for our first audience voted merit award for artistic merit and a $250 winner goes to Artemis and her quarry. This is Chelsea Casilli and Saki Marie from Harvard Medical School. Congratulations. The description of the art, if you guys, there it is, remember it. Wow, great job. The description of the art is the sun setting on one era of moon landings as a new one begins. Artemis, the sister of Apollo, selects an arrow that will reach her quarry. Thank you very much, and congratulations on that one, ladies. That was very highly voted. Now the award winner for technical merit for $250 goes to, yes, Rainbow Root Hairs by Ellison Blancafleur at the Noble Research Institute. The image that you see is a depth-coded confocal microscopy projection of a root of the model legume Medicago trunculata, expressing a fluorescent reporter that binds to the actin cytoskeleton. These plant lines can be used to study the effect of microgravity on the plant cytoskeleton for future spaceflight missions. So congratulations, Ellison. Now we've got two honorable mentions. The first one is going to be called To Boldly Go, Where No Microbiome Has Gone Before, and that is Seth Parker at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory in California. This is a really cool one of microbes growing in a petri dish there. The description is that the NASA JPL Biotechnology and Planetary Protection Group is co-leading an ongoing study of microbial monitoring aboard the space station. The aim of these analyses are to catalog the microbiome of the ISS and subsequently monitor the microbial population's variation over time in order to protect crew health and safeguard systems aboard the station. Because the station is effectively a closed system, the largest single factor thought to impact the microbiome on the ISS is that of the crew's own microbiome. Through hardships and hard work, humans are venturing into the stars and bringing our biology alongside. As such, we have the duty to mitigate our biological footprint. So this portrait of an American astronaut, Anna Fisher, is painted on potato dextrose agar with a strain of the biofilm-forming yeast Rhodotorula mucilagosina. Oh no, that was isolated from the ISS as part of the microbial monitoring study. This microbe is the most common yeast found aboard the ISS, and its vibrant pigmentation is caused by high levels of carotenoids that may help with both biofilm formation and resistance to the radiation levels found in orbit. And our fourth mention is another honorable mention, which is entitled Visualizing Hybrid Fibers During Hind Limb Unloading by Ian Stile and Marie Morteau at Harvard Medical School. This image was taken of the cross-section of a Worcester rat's gastrocnemius following 2 weeks of hind limb unloading with immunofluorescence microscopy techniques, type 1 myofibers, type 2 myofibers, and myofibers expressing both type 1 and type 2 phenotypes were visualized. The red fluorescence is WGA, the blue is a DAPI nuclear strain, and the green is myosin heavy chain type 1, and the magenta is myosin heavy chain type 2. A fiber type switch and a muscle atrophy can actually be observed in this image, so very cool. So congratulations to our winners for audience choice, and now I'll turn it over to Jamie Foster to announce the next exciting category of art winners. Jamie?
Thank you, Tara, and hi, everybody. My name is Jamie Foster, and I serve as the editor-in-chief of ASGSR's journal, Gravitational and Space Research. And so we created this new category for the cover of the journal for 2021. And I have the honor to announce the winner of this journal cover contest. And I'm very pleased to announce that the winning image will be called Flame Ignition in Space. And I apologize, there's some font issues with our cover here. It won't quite look like this. But this cover art was submitted by Philip Arrace, Richard Axelbaum, and Kendall Waddell from the University of, from Washington University, and Logan Tang from Washington University in St. Louis. Kendall Waddell, Hanju Lee, and Peter Sunderland from the University of Maryland, and Dennis Stocker and David Urban from NASA Glenn. This was definitely a team effort. And what you're seeing here in this image is what's from the flame design combustion experiment, which was designed to improve our understanding of soot formation and flame extinction. So this experiment was conducted on the International Space Station, and it shows a hot wire retractable igniter as it's igniting fuel issuing from this spherical burner that you see under an ambient oxygen-nitrogen mixture. The blue haze that you're seeing is the luminescence from the hot combustion gases that form as the flame ignites. The yellow luminescent streaks are visible radiation from those soot particles. The results of this experiment and others like it have the potential to develop robust soot-free flames and the optimization of oxygen-enriched combustion for the use in carbon capture and storage. So again, congratulations to Philip and his colleagues for their wonderful image, and this will appear January 21 on the GSR website. I would also like to take this opportunity to encourage all of you listening to consider submitting papers to Gravitational and Space Research. It's open access, it's free to our members to publish. And we have developed a new partnership with the publishing company Sciendo that is helping us with our copy editing, production, and indexing of the articles. So please submit your papers to our journal. Also, to all the postdocs listening out there, if you want to build your reviewing and journal reviewing experience, feel free to reach out to me and I can add you to our reviewer database. You can contact me through the journal website. And so thank you very much. And now I'd like to turn it back over to Doug.
Thank you, Jamie, and thank you, Tara, for helping to put the A in STEM to make it STEAM, the A for Arts. Next, I'd like to introduce John Kiss.
Well, thank you, Doug. It's a pleasure to be here and to represent the awards committee of ASGSR. First of all, actually, I'd like to thank all the people for the virtual meeting. It's been really great. Like most of you, I go to tons of Zoom meetings, but I've really enjoyed this meeting. So I imagine it was quite a chore to put it together. And I want to thank Gail and Doug and Emily, and I know there's a ton of other people. So the first award I'd like to present is the Orr Reynolds Service Award. Could I have the next slide, please? And this goes to Dr. Jamie Foster, someone you may know. I think we just heard from her. So this award is made to an individual for distinguished service to the society above and beyond the call of duty. The award is made in honor and memory of the late Dr. Orr Reynolds, one of the founding charter members of the society. Jamie, as you know, is the editor-in-chief of the Society's journal, Gravitational and Space Research, and she's done a fantastic job with the journal. She's modernized the approach that the journal takes in the way in which we conduct the editorial processes. As she just mentioned, we're using the Sciendo, and it's made a huge difference. She's also president-elect of our society, and she's taking a very strong leadership role in positioning ASGSR to be a central point of contact for the very important upcoming National Academies Decadal Survey, which we've heard a lot about today. And in addition, she's also a leader in, of course, microbial and microgravity biome research for the last 2 decades. I'm going to try something here. I hope people could hear that. Were people able to hear my applause there a little bit? No, I had virtual applause. But anyway, congratulations to Jamie. Okay, so if we could have the next slide, please. The Young Investigators Award. Let me say, first of all, this year we had a very, very good slate of nominees and kind of some stiff competition, which made it really exciting and really tough for the committee. So the first time in the 25-year history or so, the committee felt strongly that we needed to give 2 Halstead Awards this year because of the really outstanding candidates. So this award is dedicated to Dr. Thora Halstead in recognition for the years she spent encouraging young scientists to enter gravitational and space research. The award honors a young scientist who exemplifies Thora's drive and enthusiasm for science, and someone who has made significant contributions to the field of gravitational and space research. I might add that at one point, I was one of those young scientists, and Thora was very encouraging. So it's a real pleasure for me to announce this award. I also might add, I probably am not that young anymore. Anyway, the first award goes to Dr. Andrea Henley. She is a professor at Carthage College in Wisconsin. Dr. Henley's research uses zebrafish as a model system to help us understand the development of melanomas, and she combines this with a space biology program studying bacteriophages. She's received numerous grants, including the Wisconsin Space Grant Consortium grant. She's really taken an active involvement in space research and blended it with her passion for teaching to make some significant advances in approaches to teaching space biology. For example, Dr. Henley has developed an innovative new interdisciplinary astrobiology curriculum. The syllabus incorporates traditional educational format of lectures, papers, and group discussions, but she also has the latest, most exciting stuff from NASA's Gene Lab project, using all of those really cool bioinformatics tools. This approach provides her students with the access to the latest NASA space life sciences data. She's also been a very active member of the ASGSR Education Outreach Committee since 2017. She's a real great spokesperson for our society's research, and she's working hard to educate the next generation of space biologists. Because of her passion and accomplishments, I'm very pleased to present Dr. Andrea Henley the Thora Halstead Young Investigator Award. I will try my applause again. Okay. The next person, again, this is an unprecedented situation where we really felt strongly that we wanted to go with 2 award winners. The next person who will be winning the Halstead Award is Dr. Joshua P. Vandenbrink. Josh is an assistant professor of biological sciences at Louisiana Tech University. He's played a major role in the successes of the Seedling Growth Project, which was a joint project on plant development, phototropism cell cycle between NASA and the European Space Agency. He was particularly involved in the successful completion of Seedling Growth 2 and Seedling Growth 3. He has a very strong publication record for someone at his stage of his career, including 20 peer-reviewed publications in strong journals. He's also received grants from the NASA EPSCoR program and from Louisiana Space Grant Consortium. He is a very enthusiastic member of the NASA Gene Lab project. He's an excellent and caring teacher who's mentored both undergraduates and graduate students. And again, for someone at his stage of his career, he's mentored an amazing 25 undergraduates in gravitational and space biology. He's recognized as a leading scholar by his active peer reviewer status for many journals. One of his nominators stated, "From the first moment we met Josh, he was enthusiastic for participation in a project in which international cooperation was so important and relevant." Josh, too, is inspiring the next generation of space biologists. Because of his passion and accomplishments, I am most pleased to present Dr. Josh Vandenbrink the Thora Halstead Young Investigator Award. Congratulations, Josh. Okay. If we could have the next slide, please. The award I'm presenting now is the Founders Award, and this is the highest honor given by the Society. It's made to a member of the Society for lifelong distinguished scientific contributions and leadership in the fields of gravitational and space research. It's my pleasure to present this award to Dr. Joe Tash from the University of Kansas Medical School. Joe's research is in reproductive biology and signal transduction. He's a pioneer in the field of reproductive gravitational biology. His research includes both male and female reproduction and sex differences. He has reported some very exciting and important findings over the years in various space studies of sperm in space and the effects of spaceflight on ovaries and the uterus. He's been involved in a number of space shuttle missions, STS-84, STS-131, 135, 133, and 135, the last shuttle mission. Even though he is professor emeritus, he is still involved in the important BION project, the BION M2, which is scheduled to be launched from Kazakhstan in 2023. As I mentioned, he seeks to examine the consequences of spaceflight on signal transduction in the acquisition of mobility in sperm, as well as the negative effects of altered gravity on fertilization and related signal transduction pathways. He has multi-million-dollar grants, mainly from the National Institutes of Health and NASA. He's certainly been very active in our society, including being past president. A personal story about Joe, I got to know him during the BIRAC mission, STS-84, and he was the envy of everyone because he designed a patch with Homer Simpson as a sperm cell on it. And how did he pull this off? Well, the Simpsons creator, Matt Groening, is one of his relatives, and he designed a space patch. This space patch evidently caused lots of consternation at NASA headquarters, but nevertheless, the scientists and engineers thought it was really great. Congratulations to a really good colleague, Joe Tash. And with that, I conclude the awards presentation. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, John. We appreciate all the applause. And it is with great pleasure that I now get to introduce the 2020 class of ASGSR Fellows. The Fellows program was established a couple of years ago by the Society to recognize the scientific and the societal contributions of individuals to the advancement of gravitational and space research in both life and physical sciences. And this year, I am very pleased to introduce 3 of our newest fellows. The first, if we could have the next slide, please, is Dr. Paul Todd, who truly is a Renaissance man in the areas of biological and physical space sciences, and has worked in the field of space science research from both an academic, a government, as well as a commercial perspective. He currently serves as the Chief Scientist Emeritus of TechShot. Dr. Todd received his PhD in 1964 from the University of California in Berkeley and has held academic appointments at Pennsylvania State University and the University of Colorado Boulder, as well as several visiting research professor positions across the globe. He has worked as a physicist at NIST, the National Institutes of Standard and Technology in Boulder, and has served as Associate Director in BioServe, as well as more recently, Chief Scientist at TechShot, where he has contributed to numerous payload and technology development. Dr. Todd has numerous scientific contributions and publications in the field of radiation and space biology, including a seminal paper on understanding cell behavior and the impacts of radiation on cells and biological systems. He holds 10 patents that cover very diverse areas such as particle dimension characteristics, electromagnetic separation of cells, and cell processing and optics for microscopes and cytometers. In addition to the many contributions to ASGSR, Dr. Todd has been very active in our community and currently serves as Associate Editor for the Society's journal Gravitational and Space Research, where I know I can always rely on his expansive expertise in the field of space sciences. So I congratulate Dr. Todd on this most deserved award. Thank you for the applause. Our next 2020 fellow is Dr. John Kiss, who really does love and deserves applause, both virtually and real. He currently serves as the Dean of College of Arts and Sciences and a professor of biology at the University of North Carolina in Greensboro. Dr. Kiss's CV is 54 pages long, so I apologize in advance for not being able to do justice to his long and his productive career in space life sciences. However, if you want more, you can find him on Wikipedia, which I found very impressive. But Dr. Kiss received his PhD in 1987 in botany and plant physiology from Rutgers. He has held many academic appointments from Miami University in Ohio, as well as University of Mississippi, and now at UNC. He also has a very strong record of administrative service where he has held positions such as department chair, dean of the graduate school at University of Mississippi, and as I mentioned, is currently the dean of College of Arts and Sciences at UNC. He has more than 100 peer-reviewed publications and has been principal investigator on at least 8 spaceflight missions on both Shuttle, Mir, and the ISS. His work has provided foundational insights into the sensory physiology of plants during spaceflight. In terms of his service to NASA, he has been and currently is member of several working groups and advisory boards at NASA, such as GeneLab, Advanced Plant Habitat, and Wet Lab projects on the ISS. He was awarded the NASA Outstanding Public Leadership Medal in 2014. Dr. Kiss also has a long record of service to ASGSR. Just to name a few contributions, he has served as chair of the awards committee for 13 years and associate editor for the GSR Journal for the past 7 years, and is a former president of ASGSR in 2003 to 2004. So congratulations, Dr. Kiss, for becoming a 2020 ASGSR fellow, and I hope you can give yourself a round of applause. There you go. So if we could go to the last slide here. Our third inductee to the 2020 ASGSR fellow class is Dr. Howard Levine, who serves as the chief scientist for NASA's ISS Research Office at the Kennedy Space Center. Dr. Levine received his PhD from the University of Massachusetts Amherst, which gives him extra points because that's where I went to school. At UMass, for his dissertation, he worked on various seaweeds for using different kinds of seaweed species for environmental monitoring, but he subsequently became a senior researcher or scientist and supervisor for the Project Science Coordinator group at the Kennedy Space Center. He has participated in over 80 spaceflight experiments, either as the PI, the science team member, or as in a project management capacity. Dr. Levine has extensive parabolic flight experience with over 70 space-related publications that really spans a diverse array of topics from both plants, animals, as well as hardware and protocol development efforts. As a result of these diverse efforts, he has mentored dozens of scientists, myself included, and many of you out there in Zoomland, and he has encouraged countless students over the years to help them become active members of the space biology research community. Howard has also directly contributed to ASGSR through his service on the governing board and as president of our society in 2011. He is a common sight with his roving briefcase and going to the poster sessions, having wonderful discussions with students about their research and offering unwavering support for their work, but never hesitating to bring out the "have you ever thought of," and then proceeds to help you with your project. So he's been a wonderful mentor to many, many people. So throughout his career, again, he's been this wonderful mentor, educator, space flight principal investigator, and a NASA flight scientist, a space patent holder, and a tireless supporter of space biology for decades. And I congratulate him on his award. So again, congratulations to all the inductees and award winners for their outstanding contributions to our dynamic field. And now, I'm very happy to announce details regarding our next meeting in 2021. So please save the dates, November 3rd to 6th, 2021, where we are planning to have an in-person meeting at the Hilton Baltimore Inner Harbor Hotel in Maryland. Although we really hope we can all be there together in person for the next meeting, we of course will be monitoring the pandemic closely over the next few months, and we will transition to a virtual conference if we need to. But for now, let's think positively and watch this wonderful video about the hotel and the city where we are planning to get together in 2021, Baltimore, Maryland. So can you play the next video, please?
Thank you, Jamie, for putting out or getting that video for us all to get a feel for what Baltimore might be like. I hope that we all get a chance to go there. But it is that time. The yearly calendar turns over, and as the current president for about another 5 seconds, I would like to take the opportunity to present you with a ceremonial gavel as now our current president. Here you go.
Wow, it's a Zoom miracle. Thank you. I appreciate all the effort. Thank you so much to the ASGSR community for electing me to this position, and I will do my best to serve this community in the coming year. We have a very big year ahead of us with the decadal survey, and I'm sure all of you that you will be hearing from me over the next few months about that. And so as my first duty as president, I would now like to award Doug Matson with our president's plaque for his outstanding service to our community over the past year. Doug, your efforts and mentorship have been greatly appreciated by both myself and our community. So thank you, and I guess the plaque's in the mail. And I would also like to offer one last big thank you to Kevin Sato, Gail Allen, Emily Eicher, Joby Cook, along with the rest of the planning committee for their heroic efforts in planning this meeting twice, essentially. And with that, I will adjourn the meeting. So take care, everybody.